Hey everybody, welcome to day 23 of the Take Back Your Life video journey, 40 days of thinking right so that we can live right. We are going to be talking about letting it go today. Let it go.
Hey, you didn't let me sing yesterday.
I know, but I couldn't help myself.
Okay. Well, today we're going to be talking about our fear of failure and how it holds us back. I'm going to start with the verse.
Verse for today, Romans 8:18. I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed in us. Meaning that the things that we struggle with today are going to be nothing when it comes to what God has for us.
And it'll be glorious whenever we get to see that. So how do we get over that fear that wells up in us right now?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. And, some of us are still trying to figure that out and get over that fear.
I would say most people are still trying to figure it out. So whenever you're talking about how do we figure that out, one of the ways that Pastor says is that the only way to get to victory is to be willing to make mistakes and to fail.
Yeah, I mean, he says failure is inevitable, and I'm sure that's true. That doesn't help those of us that struggle with worrying about failing. I mean, that's just the way that it is. You have this thing within you that says, yeah, I'm terrified of failing, and then it's inevitable.
It is inevitable. And so whenever you're pulling back because you don't want to keep going, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you kept going?
Well, I mean, there's probably not anything that's going to end your life. I mean, if you're talking about, normal things, I'm sure you can find some case somewhere that might end up being a life-endangering event. But, in terms of what most of us struggle with, most of us deal with, the worst thing that could happen, a little embarrassment maybe.
Okay. What's the best thing that can happen?
Well, the best thing that can happen is that you can live out the dreams that God's called you to, and you live out the plan that he has for your life. And I mean, you build a legacy for your children to follow behind.
Whenever I think about this specific scenario of what's the worst and what's the best that can happen, I wonder if God is sitting and watching us like we watch our kids, because we see the potential that they have, and then we see them wrestle with this fear. And we have seen our kids not make the choice to do something, and it hurts our heart. And then we've seen them do things and it not go the way that they wanted it to. And we've seen them do things and it be phenomenally great. And I can't help but wonder if God is there doing the same thing that we're doing. Like, just do it. Just go.
Yeah.
Just take the chance.
I'm sure that he is. And I'm sure that it's a very prudent analysis. I mean, the way that you watch your kids and you sort of have this angst about the way that they're going to choose and the right thing for them to do, but you got to let them choose, right? I mean, you can't make their decisions for them forever. So I'm sure it's a lot like that. I'm sure that God's up there right now, and as those of us that are making decisions and trying to determine what it is that we should be doing, and we hear the lion roar. Now you're at that point where you've got to make a choice. Do I run towards the roar, or do I turn around and retreat into the waiting lioness that we talked about yesterday?
Yep.
Do I retreat into another year of regret? Do I retreat into, a lifetime of missed opportunities? I mean, there's 100 things that we run from.
Yeah, there is. And how do we know whenever we are going, whether we're retreating or whether we're moving forward? I mean, what's that determining factor? Is it that we're in a relationship with God and He's showing us things as we're going along, whether it's in the Word or confirmation from other people? How do we know?
Well, that's just it. I mean, some of it's faith, right? I mean, some of it is, I believe that God's pointed me in this direction, and this is the direction that He's telling me I need to go. And then the very next thing is to take that step. And that's sort of, what we've talked about, even with building momentum and everything that we've talked about up to this point is leading us into taking that first step and beginning to create that momentum, that compound interest, that run towards the roar, all of the things that we've talked about.
I was leading up to that it's a leap of faith, because we never are sure. I mean, we can have all of those things, we can have those confirmations, but in our human nature, we're always going to feel that pit of our stomach fluttering, because we're like, oh my gosh, what is next? Because we're control freaks. We want to know what's on the other side of this. And is it going to be something that I like? Is it not? So this let it go topic today is one that I like, because it's, we talk about the fear of failure. And then there's the other side of it. And there is fail fast and fail often, because as you're going, you learn, okay, that didn't work, let's do this. This didn't work, okay, let's do that. Have you ever heard that saying before? Fail fast and fail often, so that you're able to fulfill your potential. Because if you're ever scared, like if you go, okay, I can't do that because that's out of my comfort zone, not a lot of amazing things happen inside of your comfort zone. That's where the devil says, just stay right there. Stay content. Stay docile. Let me take your claws off.
The thing that Pastor talked about at the end was writing a manifesto towards your fears, things that are coming at you that you are...
you're scared of. It just says right there, God's not scared of the things that you're scared of, the things that you're fearful of, that you're worried about, that you're unsure of. The things that you're attempting to overcome.
Yeah. Write this manifesto about what you will do when you face those fears. I think I was trying to think of something maybe physically afraid, but it's not always physically afraid. I think some of it is perceptually, we perceive that things may go a certain way. And so we have fear of things that haven't happened yet. Writing out this manifesto of what you will do when those fears come helps give you something to go back to gather strength.
And it's important whenever you're talking about the manifesto to, say this is what's going to happen if I fail, when I fail, because if we're reaching our true potential, we're going to have some failures along the way. So we got to prepare for it so that it doesn't knock us off of our game. So that, just like you said, we don't end up with the, hermit doing the laces out merino. It's just, we've got to prepare for the things coming up. And whenever it happens, we go, oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and get back in the saddle and keep going.
So let it go is a big deal when it comes to dealing with moving forward. We have to let go of the fear and be willing to fail. So maybe you're not there. Maybe you're still sort of figuring that out. It's not going to be the only chance that you have. So, keep praying, keep spending time in the Word, and developing that relationship with God, and then, take that step of faith. It's always going to be a choice, and it's always going to be a difficult time. I don't know that you're ever going to go, okay, hey, this is the perfect time, so let's take that step of faith. I don't think it works that way. So we got to be willing to let it go and move forward. So it's day 23. I told you this stuff was going to be getting a whole lot more personal. It's going to be coming at you right square between the eyes, as they say.
Wants to shake you out of complacency.
I know it does me. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with day 24, Terror by Night, and we hope to see you then. Have a great day. Make sure that you take every opportunity as it comes at you today to let it go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.